So, it looks like we're going to have to parse through the propaganda. Um, use some critical thinking skills and discernment, and draw our own conclusions as to what may actually be going on. Because if anybody hasn't noticed, no matter which channel you watch, whether it be Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, am I missing any? MSNBC, they are all pushing the same narrative that this conflict is going great. We have no issues. Iran is ready to crumble. None of that is true. Just so you know, that is all a lie. There's reports that Iran's ballistic missile usage is down 90%, and well, that's because we can't shoot down their drones. They're having more success with $20,000 Shahed drones than they are with the ballistic missiles, because we can't stop the drones. Our missile systems cannot target them. Their radar cross sections are so small that if they even show up on radar, you can't tell the drones from a flock of birds. So, of course, Iran would be using their drones more. It's more cost effective for them, and they're having more success with them. And we're out here bombing painted runways. The United States is bombing airplanes and helicopters that were painted on runways. Ain't that some shit? With the intelligence agencies that we have and the money that goes into our military and industrial complex, you would think that we would be able to tell the difference between a helicopter or an airplane that's painted on the ground and the real thing. But apparently we can't. And we are wasting valuable ammunition on non-existent targets. You can't make this shit up. And the reporting on the world stage is not any better. Because everywhere outside of the United States, Israel is viewed as a pariah. Global support for the nation, well, I should say Philadelphia. Global support for the nation of Philadelphia is non-existent. But if you watch the news, you would think that the whole world is behind them and supportive. And that is a lie. That is a lie. You know, and I have a legitimate question. How do we get out of this? We've gotten ourselves so deep into this right now that what is the way out? What is the way out? What would be considered successful? Anybody, drop a comment. Let me know, like, what you what would be a successful out at this point? How do we get ourselves out of this situation? Because we don't have the ammunition, we don't have the logistics, and Iran is hunkered down, and they are not coming to the table. They basically told us to stick it up our ass. So how does the United States at this point save face? And how do we keep our greatest ally from escalating? Because if you haven't seen, they are now bombing Lebanon. So they're not just going after Iran. They are actively bombing Lebanon as we speak. So how does anybody see this ending? The only way I see this coming to an end is Philadelphia dropping one of the nukes that they don't allege that they have on Iran. Iran is not going to stop fighting. The Iron Dome does not have enough ammunition to keep shooting down these things, despite what you may hear on the news. And when they run out of that ammunition, and all of Iran's attacks are getting through, what do you think is going to happen then? How long do you think Israel will allow Iran to successfully attack their country before our greatest ally decides to drop a nuke on that country?